Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Farm. Thinking right out here in the lab where I'm just having fun doing what I do for you. Got some good information for you. Let's go. I'm ready. Rightisms, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. The message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in, receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life, excuse me, and that's what it is, not a religion. Practice daily through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka to know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. Right thinkers, your goal is to know thyself. See where I'm going with this? Come on with me. I get you there. To know thyself. That's my goal. For you to know thyself. I'm giving you all the things you need to make it happen for yourself. So I do my job, you do yours, you will know thyself. So I ask the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. Help you to know you. A person who knows not, knows not that they know not, foolish, disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. Yeah, that's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to Mayat, be true. I'm picking back off the last lesson, right thing we just talked about, the Kabbalah mysticism of the tree of life. I went through that part. Now I'm breaking down the philosophy of the Kabbalah's tree of life and the excuse me, Sefirot. They call them the spears of Kabbalah. You know what they are? They're seen as attributes of God. I'll break that down for you. Sound like sound like Netherroot to me, but let's talk about their concept of it. The philosophy of Kabbalism holds what? That the right side, I showed you the picture before, but this is what it looks like. This is the Kabbalah tree of life, this side with the spears. Okay, they say the right side is the evil and left side is good, or right side is, let me make sure I got it right. Okay, I had to spend a couple of days going over this so I can get familiar. Okay, the philosophy of the Kabbalism holds that the right side, the tree of life, represents light, good, and that the left side represents dark or evil. See, they had different concepts of light and dark, good and evil. Simple. They know opposites. That's the concept. If it's this, opposite got to be that. Up, got to have a down. You can't have an in without an out. You can't have male without female. Yin, yang, all that's showing you opposites. We went over that before. Let's go. So, this is their concept. They'll tell you this understanding is the reminiscent of what? The Zoroastrian philosophy. I'll tell you about the Zohars, okay? Why? Which was influenced by early Judaism, like Nebuchadnezzar of the ancient Egyptian and the Brahma of India. The Kabbalism views God as, you ready? Absolute and transcendental. They call it in soul. En/SOF. That means infinite. Okay? So they had a name and a concept for their perspective and their views about God. Every culture has it. Yet some have judged the Nazarene conception of the tree of life teachings as what? No less intellectual and advanced, but more humanistic and more accessible. Different philosophies, different concepts, so they seen and viewed different. I'm gonna try to break them down for you as we go. I know mine. I'm gonna get you to know theirs. I'm learning also. But being grounded in what? In a more personal human psychology and feeling, you combine it with what? Cosmic, anthropomorphic. Those are the animals that we show you, the ibis bird, the scarab head beetle, these are the falcon head. These are all zoomorphic concepts that we use to express the same philosophy from that aspect. The Zohar and the Jewish people, Kabbalah, use the spheres. Watch this. And we use cosmic anthropomorphic symbolisms. Its wisdom, teachings offer what? A more lucid, erudite philosophy, meaning it's something easier to understand. They try to make it less complicated without without complicated and burdensome, overly fastidious eruditeness, in which every teaching is seen as a what? Hypothetical point requiring every scrupulous, painstaking, and rigorous memorization. You have to memorize all these aspects and concepts. Okay, that's their philosophy. Again, I'm reading from their spot. So now you're going to deal with what? The Sephardic spears, circles. Okay, we know them. We got 7 of them. They just use 10. In the Kabbalah system, are seen. Are you ready for this? As attributes of God. Same thing at the Neteru. God and goddesses, the Paute. As a human being develops what? These attributes. What? Stay with me. When you develop the Kabbalic attributes that they're going to teach you, what happened? You will become, you ready for this one? God-like, and therefore you become divine. This is why when you see the Jews practicing on Saturday, their religion, their philosophy, their concept, they live amongst themselves. They don't bother nobody, but everybody hate on them. They don't bother nobody. I'm witness to that. I see them, I understand. But they are very, very traditional and meticulous about what it is they do amongst themselves. You just can't walk into their synagogue. No, it ain't happening. No, you just can't. Well, no, I just can't go to my dude's synagogue, just pop up on Saturday unannounced. They don't play that. Okay. They have their views and their ways of doing things. Don't mean it's wrong. Understand that. So the spears now have been what? Compared to what? Our ancient Egyptian serpent power mysticism. We call it Sufak Bara, meaning the 7 souls of Ba, or 7 souls of Ra. That's the Kundalini, the serpent power. Okay. We didn't need but 7 from our concept and our perspective. And you call them the chakras of Indian Kundalini yoga. It's been around. You can repackage it, you can rename it, you can do whatever you want, but it's not new. Moving on. The meditations of these centers will what? Will produce a similar, you ready? Mystical movement of what? Energy, aka light, knowledge, and to be into your subtle body, meaning it's gonna be up here of the human being. He's starting to become what? Conscious. He's starting to wake up. He's starting to become aware of himself, not the ego self, the higher self, the God that's within him, which leads to what? Greater experience of the divine. Good muggers. I studied this, I broke it down, but I'm reading this part for the first time and I'm laughing because I get it. I didn't have to study this. Well, I already know it. From a different perspective, it's the same thing. Just want to watch this. I ain't got to the good part yet. Watch this. So when this form of ecstasy, blissfulness, hotep, supreme peace, when it occurs, what happens? It's called, you ready? Shifa. That means divine influx, becoming one with God. We call it nihas. You can call it what you want, but the idea is to have the experience. If you're a Christian, Muslim, or Jew, if you reach that mystical experience, you reach the highest reach of spiritual knowledge you can have. You know God and yourself. Whatever means you got there, don't make a difference, but get there. Why? You'll be happy in the end. Trust me. In contrast, watch this. In contrast to what? To the serpent power system that we call, okay, from ancient Egypt, it is seen, ready, as an energy that comes into the body rather than lying dormant within it. Remember, the Kundalini, the serpent, sits in the lower part, the bottom part of the sacrum, right? To be activated to rise up. They look at it from a different point of view. Now, as a human being, does what? Masters what? The psycho spiritual principles, aka Mayat, Sematawi, or Shitat Netta, principles of the centers. He or she now is able to what? Move, you ready for this? Closer to what? Infinity, aka the afterlife, being immortalized. Why? Spiritually it don't die, but consciously we have to know who we are to use it. They call it Malkuth, Malkuth. That represents what? The physical body. Yesod, Yesod, that represents the heart. Hod, Hod, that represents the glory. Netzat, it represents victory. Now, these are all aspects of the spheres of the 10 spheres for the Kabbalah. And the next one is Tep Tereth, Tipthereth. It represents intellect. Okay, we got Tahuti for that. Then you got Gabarua. That represents the force. Luke used the Gabarua. Can you imagine saying that? Then you got Chesed. That represents mercy. Okay. Binah, Binah. That represents wisdom. Again, okay. Isis. Aset. Chokmah. Chokmau. This represents light. Really? Haru. The Ketha. He represents, watch this, spirit and humility. The lower 7 spheres have been some Kabbalistic philosophers been related to what? The 7 psycho-spiritual consciousness energies of the subtle spine, aka they call the serpent power or Kundalini yoga. The 3 upper spheres are explained as mystical steps toward, you ready for this? Unity with God. Like the back of Asar, the spine. The top 4 levels is you becoming conscious, raise your conscious level. Same concept. What's this? Thus, now through what? Daily meditation, that's part of the practice, and constant contemplation on what? On the tree of life. And as you, as the spirit, as the aspirant or right thinker, climbs up through what? The principles. You're climbing up, learning the principles as you go. They all signify something that you can learn and master for yourself. Excuse me. Okay? Now, the principles of what? Climb to the principles of the life, tree of life, and the concept of creation. These, the Sefer Yetzirah, or the Kabbalistic book, that's what they call it, of creation, says God created, watch this, the universe through 32 paths of wisdom. 10 for the spheres and 22 for the letters in the alphabet. These are represented by the 10 Sephirats and the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. Again, that adds up to 32 pathways. The Sephirat originally represented what? Numbers, and later came into the interpretation as emanations from which all existence originate, and at its basis, God. The Jewish understood. Let me keep going. I'm about to wrap it up. I see I'm about to get good after this. I'm about to take us to the composition. Okay, now let's talk about the Commission mysticism of the tree of life. We call it the psycho-spiritual journey through what? The principles of creation. First, we will begin with an introduction of ancient Egyptian culture. You have to learn and understand the culture and their religion. When they were proceed, then we will proceed to what? Discuss the tree of life on the next page, aspect of the Anuian theurgy, which is the earliest aspect, tradition of ancient Egyptian religion. The earliest, the first. This aspect of the teaching of the Anuian theology is treated in detail in this current lecture series on the tree of life of the ancient. According to the teachings of the Commission Mysticism, every human being is on a a psycho, meaning mental, in the head, spiritual journey. Once you're born into the level of time, now this kicks in. Why? You got to learn how to adapt, to be, and understand how to live as a human being. Waking up and realize you are a spiritual being having a human experience. That's the goal for all right thinkers. And there are what? There are in various ways you try to discover what? Happiness, peace, and fulfillment as a human being. If you're chasing material things and objects, you're never going to find happiness. We talked about that. But watch this. Most people search in the world for what? These covenant goals. However, invariable, they can only find what? Limited fulfillment at best. Why? And in the end, all of a person's achievements, whatever you accumulated, whatever you got while you was here, no matter how grand, how it is and what it is, guess what? It's all relinquished by them when? At the time of death. Can't take none of this with you. We try to put stuff in, nonsense. But they buried you with your jewels on the concept that you're going to come back and enjoy them. They was wrong. Okay? Now, understand that. Mystical philosophy shows that people are really searching for a deeper happiness, and that's all right. And that if they were to just understand and not believe how to pursue it, if you think these things of the world is going to bring you happiness, you are wrong. So understand that and search for other stuff that's going to make you happy. A good mate, a good position in life, whatever. But don't think it's going to bring you happiness. And watch this. With your worldly desires, your actions and your experiences would be directed toward more inner spiritual discovery. Go inside. See what kind of person you really are. Some people don't want to look and see who they really are. So the fruit of this inner journey is what? Is the self-discovery that one has what? Infinite peace and bliss where? Within. Hello? This is the true goal of life. You ready? Know thyself. Reach the spiritual pinnacle of human existence, which is gaining self-knowledge. Not scholarly, not even biblical. I keep telling you, self. In order to successfully complete the journey of life, what has to happen? You ready? Everyone needs to evolve spiritually. Therefore, the character of the ancient Egyptian myth, they telling you, the characters of the ancient Egyptian myth of creation and the various forms of what interaction with what each other are in reality. You ready? This is really an elaborate mystic code relating to the areas of human consciousness that need to be developed for what? Spiritual growth to occur in every human being. No exceptions. If you don't become conscious, you can't go. Why? They don't take ignorant people. The first thing that is noticed when the deity of the ancient Egyptian creation, based on what? The teachings of Anu, are placed, first of all, in a hierarchical fashion. And according to the order of their creation, you can see that below, next page, is that they arise in what? In accordance with their level of density. We are in the lowest level. The physical body is the lowest density. The more subtle we get, the more spiritual we get, the more subtle we get. Why? The physical body become not useful. Why? When you go to sleep, you don't use the senses when you're up here in the mental state, in the unconscious state where the mind is doing what it does. You need to be better at meditating to get the grip on your mind. We call it astral projection when you're going to sleep. Everybody consciously or unconsciously astral projects. Why? Wherever you go, you're outside your body and your mind. You can be in a building, you're outside your body. Again, the body's still in the bed. You can be, go, or whatever. That's the whole idea of understanding. And when you meditate, you can control and you can be lucid in your dream, knowing you're in the dream state. That's mental control. That's mastery of self. And density here what refers to the order of stability of the elements in creation. Again, Ra, that's the sun. Shu, that's air. Tefnut, that's moisture, moist air or water from above, rain we call it, okay? Then you got Geb, he represents earth. Nut represents heaven. Those are the 5 elements of nature. Starting with the 6th, that's the spirit that comes into man, that's Asar. And Ra was the first principle to emerge out of what? The primeval waters. He is the subtle, singular principle, the one of creation. The focus of oneness in time and space. Still, this letter right here still stands for the same thing. One, the primeval ocean itself transcends what? Time and space. It's up here and is beyond what? Existence and non-existence. Ra is the first principle to emerge out of what? The absolute as who? Ra Tim, and he emerges, his emergence significance is the significance and the beginning of existence, aka what we call creation, or some would say the Big Bang. That's the lesson. I'm gonna end it right now. I don't want to get too much time taken up, but I got some more good stuff coming up for you. So in closing, right thinkers, understand it may sound different, it may look different, but they all have the same goal. All religious concepts is to get you to God. It's up to you to figure out the one that works for you. And all you got to do is work it to your best ability, and they all works if you put the work in to master them. So, right thinkers, in closing, may you all let it be 100, be 100 minus a day. So I never know that right thinkers like you have passed away. I got more good stuff coming for you. I'll be back.